I wanted to speak on this Skip Bayless situation, um, and how the cancel culture mob is on him like white on rice right now. And before I get into what I'm about to say, I want to make it clear, make it very very clear that I don't like Skip. I never liked Skip, and I don't hate anybody because I'm about my father's business. I'm a man of God, and we know God is love. So being that I'm a man of God, I can't hate nobody. I'm about my father's business, and one of his businesses is love. So of course, I love everybody in the world, but there's some people that I very have a strong dislike for, and Skip Bayless is one of those people, right? But this situation right here, concerning a tweet he made about the brother Damar Hamlin, if you don't know, you've been living under a rock, who was who made a tackle um, on Monday Night Football during the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals game as a safety. He made a clean tackle, wraparound tackle, protocol tackle, and he tackled the guy. They both got up. He walked away, and seconds later he just collapsed on the field. And after that happened, Skip Bayless made this post right here. Um, and it's nothing wrong with this post. And the reason why I wanted to start off by saying how I feel about Skip, because I don't want nobody to mistake it as if I'm taking his side or I'm speaking in um, representation of Skip, because I'm not. I don't like Skip. Never did like Skip. Um, and the reason why I don't like Skip because he's one of those white liberals who have white guilt, and so they overcompensate themselves to the point of they overcompensate themselves into to the point where somebody like me or somebody of my caliber who have a higher mind, it just comes off as you trying to hide something. Like, is you racist? You trying to hide something? And of course, liberal blacks, they love it. They it makes them feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But when you're conservative, all that extra stuff that white people try to do due to the fact that they have white guilt, like they guilty for something that they didn't even do, because that's what's been pushed by the media and these liberal colleges and just everywhere that they go, and they accept that. So I don't like those kind of white people, right? You live in America, whether your people, because everybody white didn't come from slave owner lineage, but that's another story for another day. But and then not to mention it was a situation that took place one time with him and To, and he had the gall, the audacity to say that because some of the things that To did off the field, he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Now To is one of my top two receivers of all time, behind only Randy Moss. Just my opinion, but check the numbers. And I don't and To never was really a bad person on the field. I just feel like he was a little arrogant, but that's how most of these receivers are. They most of the time receivers are divas. And so but at the end of the day, being in the NFL Hall of Fame um only should be what you did on the field or on the court or whatever respective sport you in. Now listen, you kill somebody or rape somebody or something like that, and that's another story. To didn't do that. To always was a man of love. But To is a man who played in a Super Bowl and almost won it with a fractured ankle or leg or something. Barely could walk, and the man had over 100 and some yard receiving. I think 2 touchdowns. Almost won the Super Bowl with Donovan McNabb and the Eagles. A great receiver. But Skip, really had a face down with this man on his show, telling him, "Hey, I don't think you should be in the NFL Hall of Fame due to some of your off the field antics, which none was really bad." So I just wanted to put that out there just to give you a brief synopsis of why I don't like this man. I don't like nothing he stands for. I don't like his takes. I don't like nothing about him. But I remember when Undisputed first began. I believe it began in, I want to say 2015. I know for sure it had to been 2015 or 2016 because I was just moving into my apartment in Houston at that time, and I was always a big Fox Sports One guy. So I remember him and Shannon, who I used to like as well, Shannon, but I don't really like him no more either because he's one of these wokety woke blacks that have a big mouth with no solution. But so I don't like neither one of. But at that time, I was like, this is a great show. I would watch it every morning. They had great takes, and I don't know why. For some reason, that they like to put these ex NFL players on the same set with a quote unquote beat writer, somebody who used to write for sports, not somebody who used to play the game, but somebody who used to write sports. Because these two people who really basically don't get along, it's basically like putting an athlete and a media person um on the same bench, and that's what they do with a lot of these shows. And it works sometimes, but I feel like you should. I just feel like that's not a good recipe for a good show. And the reason being that you see it a lot with Skip and Shannon, right? Like a couple of weeks ago, they had a big old argument about Tom Brady. Now we know Tom Brady is the GOAT, and we know that's who he is at the media. He's the GOAT, not only because his on the field play, but because the media made him the GOAT, right? And so him and Shannon going through a debate, about Tom Brady and all that, and he got to attacking Shannon in his career, right? Now where did this come from? I'll tell you where it came from. It came from jealousy. Because most of the time with these sports writer athlete shows, you got the sports writer who gonna always come from the media standpoint because he never played the game, and he gonna always have that little bit of jealousy of that. He gonna always have a jealousy in his heart because of that he never actually played the game. Then you gonna have somebody, especially somebody like Shannon Sharpe, who was an actual Hall of Famer, not just no NFL athlete. He was a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest tight ends of all time. And so and here it is, the NFL player or NBA player, whoever that is, they really don't respect the opinion of that former sports writer, because why? You never played the game. You just talking about it. And so these petty little debates gonna happen where people get their people gonna send little ad hominem attacks at each other, verbally, and it can sometimes turn bad. It has been getting that way, over the last probably couple of years dealing with Shannon Sharpe and Skip. And so Shannon, what he did was he made his own platform, right? And so at this point, he really could care less. He really could care less because he did made his own platform. If you don't know, it's called, I think, Shay Shays or something like that there. And he got his own move. He got his own thing going on, right? So he could care less about this. But this why I made this video. This is why I made this video. Because you get so sick and tired of this cancel culture. It just getting out of hand. Now, once again, like I said, I gave all that I gave before what I'm about to say to let you know how I feel about Skip and how I feel about this whole situation. Now, first of all, the first thing that I didn't like about this situation is this morning, yesterday morning now, because I'm just another day, Shannon was so quote unquote bothered by this tweet that he said he was boycotting the show or quote unquote not coming to work yesterday. And maybe he'll come Wednesday, which is today. All behind this tweet. And that's what bothers me about a lot of this woke culture, cancel culture, and the soft generation that we living in. First and foremost, and this this goes for the situation that happened in the Clippers with the Donald Sterling and the dudes, and it came out that he was calling Magic Johnson the N-word. And a couple months ago, the situation happened in Phoenix where their owner got some racial slurs came out. I don't know how they found out, whether they heard it or it came out, however it came out. And these dudes get all over woke, and this is what I say about it. No solution. Just overly woke and virtue signaling. Man, listen, man. I don't care how my owner feel about me, my race, my mom, or my daddy. As long as he's signing my check, none of them Clippers players should have been bothered by what Donald Sterling said. Now, as far as you having a friendship with him, that's another story. But as long as you signing my check, I don't care whether you own the team or not. Same thing with the Phoenix owner. And the same thing with this situation here. Listen, Shannon, so I understand you don't care at this point. because you got your own platform. But man, stop being so woke and bothered by what Skip said, which was not even bad, to the point where you're not going to get your check for that day. You're not going to show up for work that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just so pathetic, and that's the type of generation. Because let's be honest about it. Let's be all the way honest about it. These things have happened. Worse situations than happened before. Well, I'm not gonna say worse situation than happened before, but just like, for example, in 1997 they had a Lions at Jets game. They had a Lions at Jets game. You can look this up, and they had a player by the name of a linebacker by the name of Reggie Brown broke his neck on the field, received CPR. Teammates was crying and praying, and guess what? The coaches of the Detroit Lions got a call. The coaches of the Detroit Lions and the Jets got a call from the commissioner at that time. I forgot his name, and said, "Listen, the show must go on." And basically, that's what Skip wanted to say. But you know, by him being educated, he put this word salad together, right? He put this word salad together and made it look cute, pretty. But that's basically what Skip was saying. The show must go on. This is a serious game. And like I say, my prayers, and I ask that everybody listening is, continue to keep the brother Damar Hamlin lifted up in prayer. But the show must go on. The show must go on. In that game, what I was just telling you about in the Jets at the Lions in '97, Reggie Brown got his neck broke. Couldn't breathe, had to receive CPR on the field, just like this brother. Teammates was crying, kneeling, praying, and doing all the same things. And they got a call from the commissioner himself. It wasn't Roger Goodell at that point, but it was another guy, forgot his name, and he called both of those coaches and said, "Listen, this game must go on." Right? Because at the end of the day, the NFL is a business and it's about money. But in the next reason, and the main reason why I made this video is to show how dangerous cancer culture is. And all cancer culture is public opinion. People is literally want this man fired from his job for this tweet, when this tweet is true. And I'm gonna be honest with you. The only reason, it wasn't they trying to make it like, oh, well, no, the play. Listen, Roger Goodell, once again, the NFL numbers ever since this wokeness in 2020, numbers have been declining anyway, right? But Roger Goodell, if he would have made that call to say, hey, look, I'm sorry for what happened to Damar Hamlin, but the game must continue. This is a playoff implication game, a seeding game. The game must go on. If Roger Goodell would have did that, you know what would have happened. You know it would have happened. I don't have to say what race would have probably been leading that. And this is the issue within our community. We need to focus on get our families in better financial position and stay away. Be anti-wokeness. If it doesn't have nothing to do with you and your family, because none of this helps black people. But yet black people are always at the front of it. But by this being a black player, if Roger Goodell would have made the same call that former commissioner would have made and said, hey, listen, the game must go on. This is a very important game at a very crucial time of the season. The game must go on. He would have been called racist. They would have been trying to cancel him. The coaches for the team, which is both white. It would have been a mess. Man, they'd have been trying to cancel Roger Goodell. The NFL, boycott this, boycott that. No solution, just a whole bunch of loudmouth, probably looting, destroying the country, and just a bunch of foolishness. All behind this man saying the show must go on. Now they won't skip job. And like I say, Shannon, one of these woke pro-black idiots, he's virtual signaling yesterday saying, oh, I'm not going to work because what he said bothered me so much. Man, go get your money, Shannon. Go talk about it. Why you didn't go? That'd have been a great show if you'd have actually went on there and talked about it. You know what I'm saying? And and that's just my take on this whole situation. Like I said, I don't like Skip. If he get fired, I'ma clap because I don't like him. But I don't think he should get fired for this tweet. I mean, it's just not, this tweet is just not worth. Because like I say, even though we know what he really meant, And that was the game was gone. If he'd have tweeted that, maybe I'd say, well, that is kind of insensitive to the young man's family, to his teammates. But he did. He just gave, he just gave the truth. He just gave the truth. And they actually trying to cancel this man. And like I say, Shannon Sharp, he could care less what happened because at the end of the day, he got him a platform now that's doing great numbers on YouTube, and I'm sure other major platforms. So he don't care at this point. But that's just my take on this whole situation, man. And I thank y'all for watching. Y'all be blessed.